Ken Burnett is heading towards center courts. David Dixon will jump center against Noah Waterman of BYU, and the tip is controlled by Duquesne. The Dukes out of the Atlantic 10. They won the championship last week. They knocked off VCU. Day Grant and Jimmy Clark, keep an eye on both of those guys for the Dukes. Baseline runner by DeMichael. Day Grant from the corner. It's good. That's a good start for the Dukes.
You're right about that, Tom. And Day Grant, he struggled a little bit in that last game in the A-10 finals. The game before that, he had 27 points. He was 6 for 9 from 3. So he's critical to their success.
And Debbie, we'll keep an eye on this Jimmy Clark, Dallin Hall matchup at the point guard position. Offensive foul is called against BYU. Keith Dambrot has already announced it's his final year with the Dukes. He announced that this week leading into the NCAA tournament, bringing the Dukes back to the tournament for the first time since 1977.
What an incredible way to finish out a brilliant career for Keith Dambrot. And you know, when you get to March, it's all about the guards. So
absolutely.
DJ Grant has to play well. Jimmy Clark in that matchup, as you referenced, with Dallin Hall, the point guard for BYU, is a critical matchup for tempo.
Here's Drame along the baseline, forcing his way with the action, reverses his field and lays it in. 5-zip, Duquesne is on top.
It's always good when players go to the other side of the basket and use the rim to avoid their shot being blocked.
And Drame, if you recall, was part of that St. Peter's team that went to the Elite Eights. Cutting to the basket, that's a tough shot. Waterman tried to corral himself as he went to the rim.
What you're going to see out of BYU is a team that spreads the floor. They shoot the three. They're trying to take 33s a game. They're one of the best passing teams in the country, so you're going to see opportunities like that on the back door.
Clark's floater doesn't get the bounce. Rebound by Nell. Nell can bring it up. He finds Waterman along the baseline.
As you can see, Debbie, you alluded to it. This team wants to play 5 out. They want to shoot threes.
And you've got Khalifa, who is an excellent passer. That shot blocked underneath, though.
Couldn't be a better start for Duquesne.
Day Grant for 3. Off the side of the iron.
Transition defense is going to be critical for the Dukes. They're going to have to be able to get back and match up quickly because they will fire away in transition outside the arc.
Khalifa's 3 is off the mark. Drame high in the air for the rebound.
Now you got 5 against 4.
Do you capitalize here on this?
Yeah, you capitalize.
Dallin Hall is banged up. There's blood everywhere. They're going to have to stop play. Keith Dambrot just asked Dallin Hall if he was okay. He came down. It was inadvertent. He came down with the elbow. Drame did.
Yeah, Drame did. And then on the offensive end, seems like Duquesne didn't really recognize that they had a 5-on-4.
Well, they're going to have to look at it because it was contact above the shoulders and the amount of blood.
Well, the officiating crew, Pat Driscoll is one of the veterans. He's right there taking a look at it. Take a look one more time at this. He comes down, Drame with his elbow. Gene Sterator is in the ref studio. Gene, what are you seeing on this play?
You know what? To me, Tommy, I think when Drame is just getting the rebound and securing it with the left hand, the right arm comes off. It doesn't look like a flagrant play to me. It looks like a basketball play. It doesn't look like he's delivering a blow with the elbow. More just finishing the rebound, and you've got some hard incidental contact, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with Gene. I think it's incidental. And how about Drame rebounding out of his area? I mean, there's no whistle on it, so they'll take a look at it, but I don't expect them to do anything here to put a foul on it.
Boy, that
or
is a lot of
it.
blood. What else, Gene?
You know, I'm looking at 44 from Duquesne too, guys. There was a little bit of an arm lock there, but I didn't think that was a hook and hold either. That's why Pat Driscoll may have went back and looked again. You can see just a little arm hold there, but then he releases right at the point they go up to the rebound. Again, not enough, I don't think, for flagrant one.
Boy, that's a good point. I didn't even see that when it happened, but that's a really good point. They have said that it's just a common basketball play.
Yeah, and if you call a flagrant in that situation, we'll have flagrants the rest of the NCAA tournament. Come on, it's a play on. Let's go.
Full court pressure now applied by the Duquesne backcourt.
BYU brings the ball up the floor. That's Johnson to Robinson. Jackson Robinson first off the bench, but that's not a big deal. He averages 14 a game from the logo. It's an air ball.
I might like to see a little sweat before I see a shot.
Maybe move a little bit. Mark Pope, his 5th season, 110 wins. He's done a really good job in the first year moving into a new conference.
And when you're a three-point shooting team, it's not just about the three-point attempts, but it's quality attempts.
Jimmy Clark up top. He and David Dixon with a 2-man game. Watch DeMichael cutting. DeMichael spins it around. It's a 7-0 start. That freshman has changed the way Duquesne has played this year.
Well, right now they're getting whatever they want on the offensive end with little resistance by the BYU defense.
Khalifa hands it off to Johnson. Johnson works off the screen. Little traffic over there. And now Khalifa with the size advantage, kicks it out to Nell. Extra pass up top for Robinson. No good. And Khalifa using that big body to get to it. He's fouled. Let's take a look at our keys to the game presented by Great Clips.
Well, for BYU, we've got to see some of this right here. They got to be who they are right now. The tempo is not in their favor. They've got to be able to move the ball. And they're a terrific three-point shooting team. They just haven't been able to get a lot of good looks yet.
Yeah, for Duquesne Dukes, they're doing an extremely good job of defending the three-point line. My first key for Duquesne, and then also control the tempo. They want to play in the 60s. They don't want this game to get in the 80s and a shootout. That's not how they're going to be successful.
By the way, Dallin Hall has checked back into the ball game, so they've been able to stop the bleeding. Or excuse me, back to the bench, excuse me. They've stopped the bleeding, so he'll come back in momentarily. Saunders in for the first time for BYU. Robinson to the baseline. Shot clock is at 10. Saunders has it knocked away. David Dixon. And it's going to be off Drame out of bounds.
And see, a lot of times when you get to the NCAA tournament and you're a three-point shooting team, great hustle by both players here. What else can you do? Do you have another gear? Is it penetration? Where's your post-up game? When you're one-dimensional, it's hard when your one dimension is not working like BYU. They're 0 for 3 from the three-point line.
7 on the shot clock off the inbounds. Johnson backs his way in. Shot clock at 2. I don't know if he realizes it. It's out of bounds.
Well, the tempo defensively for Duquesne is fantastic right now. They are closing out hard. They are making it tough and challenging for BYU to move. Now with Traore coming in the game, Avery, this changes their look. Now they can play through the post a little bit, try to get the baseline game established.
And I think this is one of the reasons why Duquesne changed their starting lineup, Debbie. Just to try to get more help on the perimeter.
Absolutely.
I think Dixon is much more athletic than Mahorsic. He can chase those guys off all that screening action.
Clark missed the 3. Saunders in transition. Got some space. Off the glass, no good. And Dixon with the rebound. 0 for 6 now from the floor. BYU with some nerves. DeMichael should have gone right to the cup on that one.
Title, their first NCAA tournament appearance in 47 years, and then announcing his retirement Monday. He has spent 7 years with Duquesne, 26 total, and after impacting countless lives, he's decided to hang it up. He wants his assistant head coach, T. Joyce, to take over next, guys.
Yeah, he's done a really good job as the assistant. 0 for 7 now for BYU. There's Drew, who's been with Keith Dambrot since he was a high school coach at St. Vincent St. Mary in Akron, where LeBron James played for Keith Dambrot. Well, he's got to be happy with the way his team has started this ball game.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. Their defensive habits, they've got high hands, they're moving their feet, they're communicating on that end. BYU needs to put the ball on the deck and drive it to the hole right now.
Jimmy Clark, little shake and bake from the elbow against Traore. Speed advantage and another bucket. It's 9-0 Dukes.
It is good to see Jimmy Clark score the basketball. 2 for 17 in that A-10 final, so he's looking to bounce back.
Here's Robinson into the paint. Robinson with his lean, and he's fouled going up.
Yeah.
That'll be 2 shots. Watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action. All right, so Debbie, this is exactly what you said. You got to get to the rim, and you draw the foul.
I mean, they're known as a three-point shooting team. Look, they're going to get 33s up before the game is over. But right now, the tempo of the game, the way Duquesne is defending, they got to drive it. They got to put some pressure on that defense. Get to the line. Now they can start seeing a big basket. Now they broke the seal.
And Jackson Robinson is the guy to really put the ball on the floor. He's a matchup problem for any of the Duquesne defenders. So I think putting him in drive could lead to some success here early in the game when they're severely struggling.
Plus, he also can shoot it from the free throw line, 90%, which I know both of you guys would appreciate that. So 9-2, Duquesne is on top. Dixon to DeMichael, this time right to the rim, doesn't get the roll. Dixon with the cleanup and the foul.
Physical, long, active, rebounding out of his area, David Dixon.
Yeah, when the coach calls your number, puts you in the lineup, how are you going to pay dividends for that strategic move?
Duquesne's just been the more physical team to start the game.
I think you guys pointed out their defense has been excellent. Dixon converts the three-point play. It's a 10-point lead. 5.5 into this first half. Duquesne has won 8 consecutive games, and they've done it with a lot of the way they've taken this lead here. Hall fouled on the floor. So Keith Dambrot's team started 0-5 in the Atlantic 10. He said a lot of teams wouldn't survive that. But look what they've done during the last 8 games. They're now 25th as far as their defensive rankings go during that span. And we're seeing that today. David Dixon just got called for that foul.
Here's a chance for BYU to really execute. They're struggling offensively on a baseline out of bounds. They've had a couple of these opportunities, but their situational offense is usually very good.
Traore on the high post. Saunders off the screen. Shot clock under 10. Traore, nice move. Doesn't finish. Gets his own rebound, then lost it.
Wow.
And we talked about it in a timeout. BYU looks a little nervous right now. They're a little tight. Whereas Duquesne's coming in and playing a lot looser, and we'll see if BYU settles down a little bit in the next couple of possessions.
Isn't that sort of the nature of the 10 versus
exactly
a 6?
It, yeah. Baseline jumper, no good. Off the back of the 10. Here comes Hall to Saunders. Robinson from the corner, around the rim and down.
That's the guy that we talked about needs to get going. We're talking about the Big 12 sixth man of the year. He's got the size, the length, and athleticism to carry his team at certain points of the game.
First field goal of the day for BYU. And it's not a surprise. He had 76 three-pointers during the regular season and the postseason, 12th most in program history. Shot clock under 10. Grant down low to Dixon. Dixon underneath. Got everybody off their feet in the two-handed jam.
It's just great recognition on the switch and the mismatch on the interior. That's a high IQ play with great poise.
David Dixon paying some dividends getting in the starting lineup.
It's a good coaching move.
He must have saw something in the film, and the foul is called on DeMichael.
Yeah, nice job here. And Dixon, fortunately for him, maybe got away with a little bit of a hop here right at the end of this play. Maybe just a little one.
I love the screen and roll in the middle third, right down the lane line. Great post up. He caught that ball and buried Hall in the rim.
Well, now they bring in Mahorcic, who's not as quick as David Dixon, to cover Traore. Here's Traore into the paint, right to the rim, can't finish. Netchus with another rebound.
That's a couple of shots with 2 feet in the paint.
And DeMichael steps out of bounds.
Those are non-negotiables, stepping on that sideline.
You know, there's only 17 panels over there between the sideline and the three-point line, so there's not a lot of room for a big size 14 shoe.
Yeah, step sideways, not backwards.
Rozier is on Hall up top. Hall's got the cotton swabs in his nose. He got an elbow earlier. Shot clock under 10. Shot clock is at 5. Hall step back 3. No good. In and out. And the rebound is taken by Johnson on the offensive ends. Saunders into the paint. Saunders high in the air. He gets it to go. Saunders double figures in 5 of the last 7 games.
If you can score at the rim right now and you're BYU, you're going to shrink that defense a little bit. Right now, Duquesne is up the line. They're overplaying. Got high hands on the catch. They're doing an excellent job with their defensive habits.
It's kind of what they have done recently that won them the A-10 championship. Day Grant, did he keep his pivot foot near steal? Netjes bumped up top. Day Grant for 3. It's good as the shot clock was winding down.
Day Grant, man, I've watched his team play early in the year.
The answer is no good. But here's Robinson way downtown. That one's good. Boy, he is sweet, isn't he?
He is so good with range. Off an offensive rebound, a terrific time to get a triple. And the way they shoot the 3, they're never out.
And the bench has all of the points right now for BYU, which is not a shock. They average 33 a game. Grant off the screen. Grant to the elbow. Orchich into the paint. Shot clock at 3. Didn't have the angle. Netjes with the rebound, but it didn't hit the rim, so it's a violation.
Off to the strong corner for a shot. Some sort of a lob.
Well, here we go. Rozier.
Yeah, they tried to look for the lob. Here's the strong corner right there.
Netjes, and his shot is off the side of the backboard.
I love what Coach Pope said to AJ about embracing the physicality of the game, because Coach Dambrot's D has been disruptive. They're up the line. They're overplaying. Their habits have been so good early.
But it's the connectivity of Duquesne on defense. They're really covering for each other. If somebody makes a mistake, the next guy rotates. And they got to continue to play defense without fouling. And if I'm BYU, I'm trying to get downhill to create some fouls to get in the bonus as soon as possible.
Well, Jackson Robinson tried to do that, but it was stripped out of bounds off his leg. It'll be Duquesne basketball.
Jackson Robinson right here, Coach. What you're talking about, down the lane line.
Yeah, but that should be BYU's ball. Duquesne.
Big Duquesne hit it last.
Yeah.
Halfway through this first half. Wronski off the curl. Orchich.
You just play him straight up and make him make a play.
That's what Traore's doing. Orchich gets him off his feet, off the glass, too strong.
And that's his second opportunity inside. Now he's 0 for 2.
Underneath, Robinson was open. Robinson now in a double team. Pass up top for Johnson. It's good. And here come BYU. They're within 4, 17-13.
See, that was in rhythm. You take the ball to the baseline, you flatten out that defense, you get in the gap and kick. It's beautifully executed.
That's a good sign for Johnson. You know, he hasn't shot the 3 ball the way he would like to, or the way he shot it last year at 46%. This year under 30. Wronski, runner off the glass. Tough shot, no good. Traore with the rebound.
Drop coverage, that's going to be available to Duquesne.
It'd be pretty interesting to see how long Day Grant remains on the bench.
And Netjes with the block. Wronski with the steal up top. Wronski right to the rim. Finger roll. That was a good move. (19-13) Duquesne. 8:45 to play, and a pushing foul is called on Wronski. All right, tournament summary. Grambling State, we watched that one last night. They won their first NCAA tournament game. They beat Montana State in overtime. They had to come from behind in that one. The 11 seeds are 27-25 in the first rounds. That's what makes this tournament so great. And the Mountain West so far, 1-1. Colorado State knocked off Virginia. Boise State lost to Colorado.
Congratulations, Coach Dante Jackson.
Yes.
The Grambling State Tigers from the SWAC.
Now, shot fake. Now, runner is good. That's good recognition.
Yeah, they've been running this combination play where they come off the weak side, off a couple staggers. And that's really good options curling off of that into the lane.
What did Nell say yesterday at shoot around? We were watching him shoot. He goes, man, I love this.
He sure did. I love these baskets.
Yeah. 8:20 to play. Clark sweeps in. That's an off-balance shot. And here comes BYU down 4. Robinson, quick first step under the basket. Tough shot. Ooh, he didn't get the spin. He almost did.
Yeah, so here's a little stagger screen here with a curl. Nice screening action. Shot fake, beautiful with the floater. That's a nice move by Nell.
It's a lot of combo action for BYU. Not a lot of single side stuff right now.
Well, Robinson already 2 for 2 for the free throw line. His first is good.
Jackson Robinson, BYU be down by double digits.
Absolutely.
He's really saved them with his offensive prowess coming off the bench, and look like he'll play the rest of the half, Debbie.
He's been their leading scorer all season. You know, he comes off the bench because he wants to come off the bench and have an impact on winning. All he cares about is winning.
Well, that's already 25 games now in double figures, counting today. Duquesne, that ball looked like it was a hot potato the way it was off everybody's hand. And now BYU can take the lead or at least tie it. Khalifa.
Such a good passer, so good in the middle third of their offense.
Now remember, this is the team with Khalifa that struggled early to start this game.
Waterman screens for Nell. Robinson for 3. BYU has the lead.
Go ahead, Jackson Robinson. You shoot till your arm falls off. That's 3 triples in the first half.
He had something to say to the defender after that three.
I think he did, yes.
What did he say, welcome to Omaha?
Yes, something like that. We'll paraphrase for him.
Really good deny of that backdoor cut.
Clark off the body of Khalifa. Easy bounce for DeMarco in the 3.
Well, he's been solid.
And Clark, the last time he drove on the previous possession, he missed Dixon inside, so got a lucky bounce there outside to DeMichael.
I love DeMichael. Look at him. He's getting on the ground. He's got the headband. He's got his knees all bruised up.
He's just a freshman. Khalifa size advantage. Khalifa has it blocked away by Netchis. 6:25 to play in the first half. Dede Grant high in the air, rattles it home. I didn't know if that was a pass or a shot at first.
But you notice between Dede Grant and Jimmy Clark III, they're really getting downhill on this BYU defense. So we'll see if BYU can make some adjustments.
Timeout called by BYU. Hey, then BYU led it by 1. Now Duquesne's up 4, 24-20 with 6:06 to play. Here's our game summary. What stands out, guys?
Definitely the bench points. Wow, the bench. That's, you know, they had a movie about the bench that saved Pittsburgh. You guys remember the movie?
I thought it was the fish.
I know that. I'm just joking. I'm trying to insert bench just for context.
You know what? I love that BYU starting to get in a little bit better rhythm. You know, 6 baskets, 6 assists.
Now there's DeMichael, the freshman for Duquesne, who's had his thumbprint on this ball game so far. It's a great story. At 17 in the closed scrimmage against Temple earlier this year for Duquesne. Keith Dambrot a couple days later said, I got to get him in the lineup more. I need to play the better players.
Freshman walk-on.
Yep.
It's a dream come true to play in an event like this.
Khalifa with the shot clock at 4 gives it up. The 3 is no good, in and out. Netchis is fouled from behind by Waterman. 5:41 to play here in the first half. Game 1 of 4 here. Levels Keith Dambrot in his final year as the head coach at Duquesne. You know, his team has held 3 straight opponents to 60 points or fewer, which is part of the reason, part of their charm, I think, this year at Duquesne.
Well, I think he's done a heck of a job getting his team here to this point. They won 8 in a row, including the A-10 championship after starting 0-5 in the league.
It will be Duquesne basketball off this timeout. Dede Grant, Jimmy Clark back in. And the 5 for BYU. They've got Robinson, who's been so impactful, and Traore off the bench with the other 3 starters.
And also with Duquesne's defense, the major key is going to be finishing it with rebounding, because you don't want to give BYU any offensive rebounds, which can lead to rhythm threes.
for three off the side of the rim. DeMichael trying to get the rebound. He's held on the floor. Nella's called for the foul. So he'll check out. Hall checks back in. Off the screen, Day Grant into the paint. Oh, opposite hands.
Beautiful with the left hand.
I mean, he rejects the screen and finishes in all that traffic.
He has 10 to lead the Dukes.
Day Grant, man, he can score in a variety of ways.
Hall, good shot fake, fouled on the floor. I love his shot fake, by the way.
Yeah, so nice little hesitation. Does a masterful job of basically rejecting the screen, splitting the defense with the scoop underneath. Man.
Nice shot fake. Get the defense up in the air, get to the free throw line, pile on those fouls. As you mentioned earlier, BYU is an excellent free throw shooting team.
And he missed the front end, so Netchus with the rebound. 6-point lead, Duquesne with 4:45 to play. The 11 seed over the 6 seed right now. Horchich, the fake handoff to Michael, open for three, no good. And Johnson with the rebound.
Be interesting to see how many players Duquesne send to the offensive glass, because you want to really get back in transition.
And Traore is fouled going up.
You're talking about the versatility of Day Grant. You're right, Coach. He's got to be effective downhill. He's got to manage distributing the basketball. He's been really good on the road for Coach Dambrot this season. His points are better than his average on the road.
In neutral games, he's at 19.5 points per game. So here's Traore to the free throw line. 71% for the year. And he missed the first one. Coming up on AT&T at the half, get all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half as Saunders checks back in. Traore. All Big 12 honorable mention off the bench. Average is just under 11. He converts the second free throw.
Khalifa on the floor in the middle third. Very good passer with size. Traore down on the block. Changes his space in a different way because he does demand a double, and he's really good in their pick and roll game.
He almost is like a fullback when he gets into the paint, too. Grant off the screen.
You can't make a mistake going under because he'll make you pay. You have to fight over Grant screens unless he's at half court. Then you can try to slip under.
Well, he has 12.
Yeah, anywhere Debbie time inside or behind it at that three-point line, you have to fight over.
Well, there's the steal on the errant pass. Clark brings it up the floor, waiting. Netchus for three, feeling it.
A 32% three-point shooter and a 6'8" freshman frame right there. Netchus. 8 for his last 13.
And this is back to a 10-point lead for Duquesne. Robinson trying to answer. Too strong. Johnson with the rebound, though. And another steal.
Great anticipation by Clark.
He's the best in the Atlantic 10, and that Grant way downtown. No good. And a foul on the floor.
And getting Day Grant into the rhythm of his jump shot.
And Debbie, great point about the twist on that pick, re-pick. Just trying to get to a spot where he know he can be really efficient.
Well, those two guys have sort of changed roles today for Duquesne. Dukes with the ball.
I mean, we knew these two guards in the backcourt could manage a game. They have controlled the entire game for Duquesne.
Shot clock is at 5. Clark snakes his way in. He got blocked by the bottom of the backboard. Horchich is off the glass. It's good as time expires.
Boy, got it off right at the nick of time. He struggled inside, but fortunately he was able to complete that shot, finish it.
I mean, great understanding of time and score, not getting impatient at all. Tremendous poise in the backcourt.
And on the defensive end, they've held BYU without a field goal for over 7.5 minutes. Waterman 3-2. Oh, he banked it home. Count the bucket and the foul underneath.
Wow.
The foul's away from the shot.
This is a big play right here. This could be an emotional swing for BYU. The three and the foul off the ball.
Yeah, this looks similar to that game you had when BYU upset Kansas.
Take a look at this right here. Yeah, that game was something else. In Allen Fieldhouse, you kidding me? Nobody beat Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse this year except for these guys in white at BYU.
All right, so they're going to look at Mahorcic underneath. Watch this. Oh, no, it's not Mahorcic. I'm sorry.
No, that was Jimmy Clark.
Jimmy Clark.
They're going to look. They might upgrade this.
Yeah.
I mean, he already had him checked out. He didn't need to raise the elbow.
No.
All right, Gene, so what do you see after that foul apparently on Duquesne?
You know, I think what you're looking at right now, Tommy, is when Jimmy Clark does box out, is it excessive, right? Do we rise to that level? It looks like a normal box out. The arm, to me, appears to be initiated in the lower chest, and then he lifts it. I think they're going to look at that severity as he climbs that arm up and then boxes out.
Okay.
To me, I don't know that it looks like your traditional flagrant one, guys, but it's all about kind of where that arm finishes as it relates to the head neck area.
Well, thank you, Gene. And by the way, they've called that jumper up top a 2-point field goal, not a 3 that he banked home. So we'll correct that. It's a 10-point game, 33-23.
And they're going to leave it as a common foul. So Johnson will shoot 1 and 1.
I would have been okay if they would have upgraded.
I think so, too. I would have gone with that.
Yeah, with the way he extended that elbow, I would have been okay with them upgrading this.
All right, so Johnson to the free throw line. It's a 1-and-1 opportunity. And he converts, so he'll get the second shot. All right, so how about this shot by Waterman up top? I thought he was beyond the arc.
Oh, that is a 3.
Yep.
Did they look at that over there?
They called a 2 at the scorer's table. I would assume they looked at it. And he makes both free throws. So now all of a sudden it's an 8-point game. Rozier back in to help run the backcourt with Day Grant.
And we have a very limited amount of possessions. So can Duquesne take care of the ball?
Dallin Hall right to the rim. He lays it in. That's all him right there. The steal and the go.
How about his first basket of the game, getting it in that fashion? I mean, he jumped that passing lane. Great anticipation.
He had been 0 for 6 against Texas Tech, and he was 0 for here. Rozier for 3, short. Rebound Hall, or excuse me, Johnson.
And this is the tempo.
Yes.
That Coach Damrock did. He wanted to play and move the ball a little bit more on offense. Now it's basically been one pass and shoot for Duquesne the last 2 possessions.
And you know what? BYU's right on their number. Half their shots have been 3s.
Here's the good thing. There'll be another breakfast tomorrow and the next day.
Good. Love our crew. Love our crew.
So Keith Dambrot's being explained about that play, which it was a few minutes ago. I mean, and as Debbie, you mentioned, what an emotional swing, because that's 5 points right there for BYU without the clock movement.
Mark it down.
So now it's 33-28 Duquesne. Dukes with the ball. They spent the use it or lose it timeout.
Come on with a little trap off the timeout. Showing zone. Staying in man.
I like that when they switch it.
You got to change the rhythm of the game.
Yes.
This is a perfect time to try to get another steal. Hall got a steal last time down.
Netchus tried the fadeaway jumper. It's no good. BYU can climb closer here.
And give BYU credit defensively. They've really turned it up on his last couple of possessions. Steal, really solid post defense without fouling.
Johnson, sidewinding in. Johnson, right side of the lane, finishes strong.
How about Khalifa? Screen or in the way? Which one, Coach?
Under a minute here in the first half. What a personality this game has taken on. Netchus, he made one from that spot earlier. He makes another one. Keith Dambrot told us, he said, listen, this kid is playing outstanding these last few games.
Yeah, he was 2 for 3 in an A-10 final. In 19 minutes, he had 8 points. So
Khalifa, bounce pass cut off by Rozier.
Good read from the weak side. Last possession here.
Yep. Netjes, I don't think he realized it. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's going to finish it anyway. He's like a freight train going to the cup.
And the coaching staff is saying one shot, hold it.
He has 8 points off the bench today.
And then when he made the shot, there was outstanding.
Nice move by Hall. Up top, Khalifa for 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Grant. Time will expire. The 11 seed is open some eyes here in Omaha.
On BYU's mistakes and converting in transition.
Well, BYU right now is at its second lowest field goal percentage of the year in a game at 35%. Johnson starts it off with Khalifa inside, backing his way in against Dixon. Too strong. Waterman, though, with the offensive rebound. And they tie it. They tie it up and go to the floor.
So in this situation, the best thing the assistant coaches can do is make sure none of the reserve players on the bench touch the floor, guys.
Pat Driscoll, the referee, went to the floor, too. Yeah, he went right in to make sure nothing happened. Let's make sure he's okay.
Watch off the ball.
Yeah, they're both tied up. They're fighting for the basketball.
At that point, they should have both just let it go.
Right.
Look at Pat Driscoll, the referee. He dove right in there to make sure everything was okay. And now we hope he's okay as they'll figure it all out.
The call on the floor is
jump ball.
I think we're going to have double technical fouls here that are going to cancel out. Then you go to the possession arrow. It'll be Duquesne's ball.
And Drame, by the way, has 2 fouls going in. Well, Gene, I didn't realize that a basketball game would turn into a football game this early in the second half.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Tommy. I'm wondering if there's any flags on the play. I don't see any flags down yet, but they have a little bit to unpack here for sure. Naturally, we see the held ball, and I think you then watch Drame and his actions as he gets down and maybe a little too aggressive here. What I think they're going to look at is not only the action by both players. I think if both players, throw, and it looks like Waterman may have kind of responded, you may end up in a situation where you've got 2 dead ball contact technicals. The other thing I think we keep in mind, too, is as they review this, and it could take a little while, is to look at both benches. Do players come off of the bench onto the court? So this could take a little bit of time from some angles for the officials to unpack it all.
Well, watch this, Gene, as the benches. Look at the bench and the reaction from the coaches. Look at this. Oh, whoa.
What a great job to get them all off the court.
And that's why the first thing I mentioned was watch your benches. I've coached in a game before where I finished the game with 3 players because the staff didn't do a good enough job of keeping the players off the court. So I finished the game playing 3 against 5, guys.
Wow.
Players know they're not allowed to come on the court in that situation or they will be ejected from the game.
Including my son. He shouldn't have never run.
Well, Gene, also with that is Pat Driscoll went diving to the floor to break that up. They've peeled things back, and you officiated a long time, and he did something. He did a really good thing here, and he went after to break it up. And his body got banged up pretty good. Look at him here. Both officials.
No, you're exactly right, Tommy. It's kind of like digging that fumble out right in the football game where, I could tell you when I was a referee, I was hoping my umpire would go in there and dig it out to save myself. But
well, Ken Burnett
did a great job.
Yeah, Ken Burnett tried to get in there, and Pat just went diving in. Well, Gene, we appreciate it. It is offsetting technical fouls, as Debbie and Gene both said. So for Waterman, it's his second. For Drame, it's his third. One more look.
Yeah, then you go to the point of interruption, which is the jump ball, possession Duquesne.
And I was concerned about Drame's right elbow here.
Yes.
As he was in this tussle.
And he's still going after the basketball. Pat Driscoll's coming over. We just asked him if he was okay. He said he's good. He's explaining things to Debbie and Avery. All right, so Pat Pat explained everything.
Thanks, Pat.
He said he's okay, by the way. I asked him.
Well, Drame is going to check out. Netchis will check in.
Substitution for Duquesne is number 7, Malcolm Netchis.
And it'll be Duquesne basketball with an 8-point lead. Well, it's a rather eventful 20 seconds to start the second half.
And that's Drame's third personal foul.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen BYU play yet. They've got to get ball reversal. They've got to get into the rhythm of their game. And they have not gotten into a good rhythm either.
Clark, step back, pull-up jumper, no good. And the rebound is taken down by Johnson.
And we know a lot of times when teams, they don't get into their rhythm, we got to give the other team credit. Duquesne's been playing extremely well, and here they are with this steal in the finish.
David Dixon somehow corralled that as he was dribbling up the floor.
What sort of surprised me about BYU is not handling the physicality of Duquesne is they play in the Big 12. Right? I mean, the Big 12 is all about somewhat of a loose whistle, if you will.
And they've answered that all year long.
And you're playing against teams like Iowa State and Houston.
I mean, you got a ball fake, pump fake. You got to do all those things, backdoor cut. That's what BYU is built to do.
Khalifa with the shot clock at 2, grazes the front of the rim out of bounds. It may not have grazed the rim.
Yeah, but the great thing about Duquesne, again, they're playing these passing lanes. They had 4 steals in the first half, and here basically Dixon just runs through this play and finishes it on the other end. Wonderful job.
And then opposite end, Khalifa continues his cool shooting. He's 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Not getting a lot from him is a really tough thing for the Cougars. 18:20 to play here in the second half, and DeMichael was fouled by Nell along the baseline.
Watch Nell right here. He's just holding. And that's a freedom of movement emphasis. So much for the loose whistle on that. I mean, that would be to BYU's benefit, quite frankly, to have those calls be fouled, or fouls be called, excuse me.
Well, that's the third on Nell.
When they're on offense.
When they're on,
Day Grant off the curl. It's good. That's a 3 from the top. It's the largest lead of the day for the Dukes, 43-30.
Have Grant and Clark delivered.
Big time. Grant has 15 points.
I'm just a little confused on how you lose Day Grant's body or you try to shortcut a screening situation.
That ball's tipped back out. I thought BYU touched it last, but the officials feel like Duquesne touched it.
No possession.
That's true. 17:45. Hall reverses his field. Tough shot.
If we're going to mount a comeback, it's going to be behind to play number 30 right here. Dallin Hall. He's their leader. He's probably one of their most important guys in terms of managing tempo, getting everybody the basketball, and then just shaking it up, right? They need to shake it up a little.
What did Mark Pope tell us? He's a star in the making. Shot clock under 10. DeMichael bumped up top. DeMichael, runner off the glass, too strong. Ball tipped around, and Waterman with the rebound.
And we'll see how long Jackson Robinson takes to check into this game, because he was the main reason why Duquesne lead in the first half wasn't insurmountable.
It's another turnover for BYU. Day Grant.
Same with Traore. I thought he was impactful for BYU.
DeMichael from the corner. 6 for 13 from 3 in the A-10 tourney. He only made 16 in the regular season. His staff has been incredible while he has been with her through her chemo treatments. He said, I missed a couple of days, but I always put my 8 hours in. But when I wasn't there, the players and the staff were there to help me out. Traore over the top of Dixon. Loose ball. Netchis has it. This is a 14-point lead for the Dukes.
Yeah, this is a dangerous time right here for BYU. They've got to get some stops.
And if you're Duquesne, you don't want to take any quick bad shots. You want to work your offense. You know Day Grant, he can get a shot off at any time, just like now.
Yep. Johnson with his 10th rebound for BYU.
Especially when you know BYU is going to be in drop coverage. So you can work the clock, and you know you're going to be able to get to that mid-range in the middle third.
Robinson back in the ball game. 17 points. Yeah, partially blocked by Clark out of bounds. Shot clock is under 10. Hall for BYU speeds toward the basket. Tough angle. Netjes with the rebound.
And while we focus a lot on BYU with the three-point shooting, finishing in the paint is critical. You got to be able to make your layups. They're 3 for 8 on layups. Well, 3 for 9 now on layups.
That'll be a foul on Jimmy Clark. Speaking of 7. All I have to say is that things got better for me as the years went on.
Who's this guy on the right?
That smile. You still have that $1 million smile.
Oh,
my goodness.
Had to break out the old Little League picture for you.
One.
That was for you.
I like that one. I like that one.
I love you guys' photos.
Mine was at the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Look, I can still turn 2, I think.
You guys are aging.
I can't pull off a tank top, though.
You're aging gracefully.
46-32, Duquesne is on top. 5 minutes into the second half, and Traore off the pass. That's a beauty right there.
That's his first bucket, and he's had multiple opportunities at the rim.
Duquesne haven't made many mistakes defensively, so that was a wide open little slip there.
There's Rozier, Netjes along the baseline. Netjes runner is too strong. Johnson with another rebound. That's 11. Here's Robinson. Robinson right to the rim. Oh, what an angle that was.
I mean, through the contact. If BYU's going to make a run, they got to make a stand right here. Now they got it to 10.
And Robinson may not come off the floor the rest of the game.
I agree, Tom.
Remember, they're not playing at altitude. They should not have any trouble with their wind.
J.J. Grant into the paint. Grant slips it, and the finish is not there, but a foul is called on Robinson, I believe. Yes. Mahorcic is angry with himself that he didn't finish that.
This was a sensational no-look pass. Look at J.J. Grant, looks the defender off, hits the big...
Did he want to slam that, you think?
Yeah, he wanted to slam it. I think he got caught in between there.
That is such a great delivery in the second level, right? I mean, he can get by his primary and then reading what's next. Man, these guards have been impressive for Duquesne.
Mahorcic to the free throw line. Doesn't get the rolls today. Missed both. Johnson with the rebound. He's having himself an amazing day off the board.
Yeah, that's like a turnover in a way. It doesn't get counted as one. You miss a dunk and then you miss the free throws. Come up empty on that possession.
Saunders. Again, they're getting some tough shots. The foul is called on DeMichael, so they initiate the contact.
I mean, it's one-on-one defense right here. You got to guard your player because you can't help off the strong side shooters outside the three-point line, and that's just a good take by Saunders to get to the line.
Yeah, great point, Debbie. And one thing for Duquesne defensively, those middle drives, you got to eliminate those hard middle drives, especially when the guys go in their strong hand.
Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com.
Undefeated South Carolina once again into the women's field. The overall #1 seed on the women's side. Dawn Staley's club outstanding once again this year.
A lot of footage of Dawn as a Virginia Cavalier during her playing days recently.
And Caitlin Clark on the other side of the bracket.
Saunders again. And he makes that one. So we had a lane violation on the first free throw, which he missed. So now he gets a second one or third one here. And the bench points again for BYU. They have 21 bench points so far today. 21 of the 37 points.
That's usually BYU strength.
The third free throw is good.
6th in the nation in bench points this year at 33 points a game as that average, and it helps when you got Jackson and Traore.
Absolutely.
No team in the country has their top 2 scorers coming off the bench like BYU.
And it's also helpful for Duquesne to get Dixon back in the game.
Yes.
He's had such a huge impact.
J.J. Grant jabs the three-point line. Shot clock under 10. Inside to Dixon. Covering stripped away, but cleaned up by Netjes. He's got 10. That's a season high.
But one of the things that I love, Tommy, Debbie, J.J. Grant's making the right play.
Yes.
He's scoring when he needs to score. He's facilitating when he needs to pass.
They had a mismatch inside, Avery. They missed it. Traore had Grant on him.
Netjes wants it. Grant's going to take it. It is no good. And Johnson with another rebound.
Got a little mismatch inside here.
There it is again, same matchup because they sprint the floor in transition. You got to finish that one.
Oh, he gave it up. Johnson, shot fake, going to the rim.
Advance pass, push in transition, get the mismatch, reverse it, bucket. That's BYU. Now it's at 8.
And that's that .5 game that BYU loves. When you catch the basketball, shoot it, drive it, pass it. Do not hold it.
Jimmy Clark's about to check back in for Duquesne. Rozier, pull-up jumper from the elbow. No good. Deadens off the iron. Saunders with the rebound. They can make this a 5-point game again. Hall. We thought about it. Saunders for 3. No good. Robinson with the offensive board. Extra pass. Hall for 3. No good. Dixon with the rebound. They're just off a little bit.
But now you sense this is their run, right? This is their time right here. They don't like to extend and press.
But you got to remember, with Duquesne, it's a possession game. You don't want to play too fast. You're okay playing late in the shot clock.
And get the pull-up jumper. That's what Keith Dambrot told us. Shot clock is at 5. We're late. Rozier fell to the floor, and the foul is called. One in the first 4 in Dayton. Here, we've got Duquesne, the 11th seed, with an 8-point lead and the ball with 11:47 to play in the second half. Rozier, bounce pass to Dixon, design play. He may have gotten away with the travel. He's pinballing around, and the ball pinballs off the rim.
Yeah, that's one of those little cross-pick actions out of the underneath, out of bounds.
Hall to Johnson. Traore, he's been cool from the floor so far. The double team doesn't help. It went to the wrong spot.
And unlike that last play by Dixon inside, Traore stopped in the paint. He didn't run outside the paint.
BYU is within 6. The largest lead was 14. Drame backing his way into a double team. Easy hook. He got right to the half circle.
Beautiful job getting to that left shoulder. And BYU 0 for 5 this half from outside the arc. They've been able to come back in this game by driving the basketball to the paint.
Kind of what we talked about. The points in the paint were such a difference at halftime.
They don't get a lot of back to the basket. They get a lot of this right here.
And there it is, rejected by Dixon.
He is so active.
And this is one of the reasons why they wanted to insert him into the basket, into the lineup. He can play on the ball, off the ball. That's being the last line of defense here.
That's why you see a lot of pump fakes, shot fakes in the paint, because this BYU team doesn't really play above the rim.
Robinson will inbound on the baseline. Again, you know, Dixon's playing a lot more. Trey Williams, their normal center, is out with a torn labrum in his shoulder. Shot clock is under 10. Saunders gives it to Johnson. Shot clock at 4. I don't think he realized it. Saunders is bumped, and Drame picks up his 4th foul.
There's that shot fake on a hard closeout.
Yeah, and this is a decision that you got to make and get Drame out of the game.
There's Trey Williams. We talked to him yesterday about the labrum. He said he's going to have surgery. He said they said it would only be 4 months. He was injured in the A-10 tournament. And he did say to us, he said, yeah, I'm okay. God has a plan for me.
He sure did.
And he has been, I think, tremendous for Keith Dambrot, just keeping the players upbeat.
You can always talk about a player when he's doing great, but what about when he's fighting adversity? Can he be there for his team when he's not healthy?
Traore could not get the cleanup, but the ball was tipped to the Cougars, but then back to Duquesne. Robinson had the clean look. Grant, little jab step, pull back 3. No good, off the front of the rim. And Robinson to Johnson, running the floor, high stepping, tough as he took that last step.
And again with Duquesne, we know Dede Grant's outstanding. He's got to pick his spots. We thought he's been doing a magnificent job of knowing when to score, when to pass, but sometime early in that shot clock at this stage, you got to make BYU's defense work a little more.
Ice and ball screens, trying to keep it on this side of the floor.
Rozier leaves it for Dixon, too high, but he was able to get it off the glass. It was partially blocked, and a jump ball is called. Possession goes to BYU. So the jump ball gives BYU possession.
I thought that was a travel.
I thought it was too.
I did too.
Well, Pat Driscoll comes sprinting out of there with a lot of confidence that it's a jump ball.
And now Driscoll is separating Robinson and Day Grant as Dixon will step out. Mahorchich back in. So should this have been a jump ball? I don't know.
It's a travel.
It's a travel. Either way, it's BYU basketball, but the possession arrow next time will go to Duquesne, which could be heavy late in this ballgame. Robinson off the screen. Robinson right side of the lane. Robinson using his body control.
Taking advantage of a smaller defender in Kareem Rozier, who's listed at 5'9", Avery. I don't think so.
No, if he's 5'9", I'm 6'2".
Yeah. Heading toward the 9-minute mark in the second half.
And for BYU guys, if they're going to win this game, he's going to have to be outstanding the rest of this game, and they're going to have to pick up their defense.
How about that soft jumper by Rozier?
Yeah, but no one contested that jump shot.
I think they were concerned about somebody else. BYU 0 for 6 from beyond the arc in this second half. Paul. Robinson for 3. 0 for no more.
I would find him every time down the floor. He's got that feeling.
That's Dallin Hall. Leads the team in assists. Such a good find off the baseline drive.
20 points for Robinson. It's a 5-point game. Duquesne had a 14-point lead. Clark, step back jumper, no good. Here come the Cougars.
To your point, Coach. Work the clock a little bit more. Get some side-to-side action against BYU's defense.
Khalifa,
you got a mismatch here inside.
and Net just came over to clean up and help. Robinson, a little hesitation. Robinson swirls in. He's on a different planet. He's got 22.
But that was set up by the mismatch inside with Khalifa posting up the 5'9".
Every time BYU gets 3 sides.
About his Aunt Cheryl and how when he was younger, she said to him, hey, listen, you need to do more than just take jump shots. You got to drive to the basket a little bit more. So she walked out of the gym, and she just left him there when he was 8 or 9 years old.
Well, you got to know his aunt. That's his mom.
Crystal, I should say, not Cheryl. My bad.
Crystal Robinson played in the ABL, WNBA, current assistant for the Chicago Sky. He was in 8th grade. She worked him out. He liked to shoot jumpers. She wanted him to work on some other things. She just left him. If you know Crystal, you know what a competitor she is. He comes by it naturally.
She left him for about 2 hours. He said, what did you do next?
Well, he couldn't drive, so he was stuck.
He was stuck.
Shot clock is under 10. Day Grant looks up at it. Shot clock at 2. Trying to get free. Pull-up jumper inside the 3. No good. And now BYU can tie this game.
Yeah, BYU strung together a couple of stops. Obviously, Jackson Robinson's been amazing on offense. We'll see if they can keep it going. Normally, this is around the time they'll sneak in the back door.
No good. Good box out by Day Grant.
Good ball movement. 2 good possessions by BYU. The stop on one end, a good look on the other.
And consistent mistakes by Duquesne on defense. That was a good look.
Under 7 to play. Duquesne, its lead was 14. It's down to 3.
Now they're moving the ball much better this possession.
Drame. Shot clock is at 6. Rozier. Dixon trying to facilitate. They get Day Grant. Grant knifes through the defense. Runner is no good. And it's a violation. It never hit the rim.
10 on the shot clock of not letting Day Grant get back to the ball. So you want, if you're going to take the shot clock down inside 10, make someone else besides Grant or Clark make a play.
Yeah, when you look at Duquesne right now, maybe Jakob Netjes needs to get back in the game because they're keying on Day Grant offensively.
Johnson in the paint, down low to Traore, got position, he's fouled.
This is what I'm talking about right here. Watch the shot clock, inside 10. Now look on the other side over here, that's Waterman. Or Spencer Johnson, excuse me. He's doing a really good job. Watch him deny right here. He's working over the top of that. He makes him go late into the clock. It's a really good defensive effort by Spencer Johnson.
Yeah, nice job by Khalifa stepping up and impacting the ball.
Traore makes the first. Second free throw is good. Nothing but net. And now it's a one-point game. Leanne Pope likes that.
And BYU couldn't ask to be in a better spot after being down 14.
Absolutely.
It's a struggle right here for Duquesne offensively, especially Jimmy Clark III. He's 1 for 8 from the field. He's not providing anything offensively.
Oh, what a bad foul by Jackson Robinson. 7 on the shot clock, Avery. You already had him scrambling.
Yeah, this is a bad foul. You know, you had him here, that left arm. You basically want to try to force him to the screen. You don't want him to reject it, which he's exceptional at rejecting screens.
Mark Pope, his 5th year as the head coach at BYU.
I think Coach Dambrot here probably needs to go a little offense-defense here. Get some of your better offensive players in the game.
Ball knocked away by Saunders. Shot clock is under 10. Clark, step back 3. No good, an air ball. Picked up, shot clock is at 3. Drame off the glass, it's good, and he's fouled.
What a great board.
Sometimes your bad luck is your good luck. We talked about Jimmy Clark struggling from the field. He launches an air ball, but here Drame is in the right place at the right time, finishes through contact. Outstanding.
You have to check out on the weak side. Hall didn't even look for him. He sneaks around behind him and uses that length. He's been rebounding out of his area all game.
Well, it ended a 7-0 run, and now Drame, who has 6 points. He hasn't played a lot of minutes because he's been in foul trouble the whole game. Again, we mentioned it. He has Elite 8 experience when he was part of the St. Peter's program. Converts. They haven't won. Duquesne hasn't won an NCAA game since 1969.
You think Norm Nixon is a little nervous right now?
I don't think Norm was ever nervous. Robinson step back 3. It's good.
Big shot for Robinson.
25 off the bench. It's a one-point game. Mark Pope told us he got better and better this year as a teammate. He connected his teammates more the offseason. Went to movies with different guys, played games with different guys.
Switching 1 through 5 right here with this lineup.
Foul on the floor. AJ has more on Jackson Robinson.
As you guys talk about Robinson, his humbleness was something else that Mark Pope brought up. He got hurt, and that's when they started bringing him off the bench. And he said he didn't care. He just wanted to hoop, and he is a draft board guy. They did try to put him back in the starting lineup, and Jackson said no, he prefers coming off the bench, and he obviously gives them a lot when he gets in the game, guys.
Yeah, AJ, what did he say? He said, I want to be a finisher. I don't want to be a starter. And Drame makes the free throw. Love movies? You're in luck because Max gets movies. Lots of them. Award-winning dramas, epic adventures, family favorites, and more. Stream now on Max, the one to watch for movies. Is this your offense for defense, Avery, that you're talking about?
Yeah, and they want to give
defense for offense.
Dede Grant a little bit of a rest here because you got a timeout coming here soon.
Drame made the first free throw. And missed the second. Duquesne up by 2. BYU 1-10 this season when trailing within 5 minutes of the second half. Traore bumps, lost it, out of bounds. I think touched last by Duquesne.
It was, but if I'm Duquesne on this possession, I want anybody to attempt the shot not named Robinson. Okay, we'll live with it, but we don't want him not only touching the basketball, but attempting this shot on this possession with 14 seconds to go. If he's one pass away, deny him the basketball.
Traore in the paint. Traore pinballs in and out. How did that not go down?
I don't know how many times that's happened for that young man.
But that's a win. That's a win for Duquesne.
He just went out with his shoulders going. He's just shrugged his shoulders.
Now with Dede Grant on the bench, where do you go for offense here?
Clark, pull up Jay, and gets the roll. One goes halfway down and pops out. That one bounces every which way and goes down. Just 4 points for Clark. Saunders might have gotten away with the travel. Johnson in traffic.
BYU not even looking for threes. You know, it used to be get to the paint, spray, get inside, and kick. They've had to do a lot of this right here.
It's a double-double for Spencer Johnson. He's been big for them today.
And that was some amazing confidence by Jimmy Clark, who's been struggling. Give him credit. Give the senior guard credit for hanging in there.
Drame has an advantage. Drame caught the double team. He needs help. Dixon, shot clock at 5. Dixon, that was not a good shot. Here's Johnson after his 16th rebound. Leaves it in for Traore. It's blocked out of bounds.
Trading off the penetration, knocking down shots. He's got the whole thing working right now, and they need every one of it.
Jimmy Clark with his 4th steal and an exclamation on the finish.
And when you're struggling offensively, you got to get back to your identity. And Jimmy Clark is an outstanding defensive player. One of the leaders in steals, not only in the Atlantic 10, but in the nation.
Well, Coach Dambrot told AJ on the half, on the way out, that he calls him the Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, Stealeer. Traore tried to answer it. He does. Little kiss off the glass. Back to a 2-point game. 11 versus 6, coming down to the wire here in Omaha.
We couldn't have asked for a better game to start here in Omaha.
And you get Dede Grant off the ball a little bit here, so you can bring it back to him in a late clock.
And the turnover. Here comes Hall and BYU. Traore has it hit in his face.
And they've been doing an amazing job. Normally BYU makes 11 or more threes. That's what they average. So they're under their average right now. And then controlling tempo.
Yeah, I meant 63% is what their assisted basket number is. And there's another turn, almost a turn.
Almost, yeah. Under 2 to play. Traore, and our first tie of the game. 60 all with 1:45 to play.
And you notice, with Netches being back in the game, he struggled on their post defense there, going for a steal and was unsuccessful.
How about 40 bench points for BYU? Sweeping it is Clark. He's fouled going up, and he's going to get a couple of free throws.
See, when you're in post defense, if you can't steal this basketball, stay behind. And right now, this is a futile attempt to steal this ball. You can't get around this big fella.
So now Clark goes to the line, 71%. First free throw of the day for him. They've only had 6 attempts. That's 7. Dixon in, Netches out. Since 2005, there's been at least one 11 seed that has won the first day of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Debbie brought it up earlier. This 11 seed, Duquesne, they're a dangerous team. And
well, they've proven that.
BYU's used a lot of energy being down 14 here in the second half to get back into this game, Debbie, and have a chance to win.
Traore, little jab step. Traore throws it up off the back of the rim. No good. Does Robinson have to touch it at least one time in this possession?
I mean, I
or
think
at that possession?
I think that has been working for them, and they are getting the shots they want. And Traore's got to finish those or kick it.
1 minute to play. DeMichael, he had Clark. He didn't see him. Dixon has Clark. He does see him, and he missed it. Whistle blows late. They're going to get Dallin Hall.
Watch this back door. This is tremendous. What a setup by Clark.
And the nice pass by Dixon leading his teammate. And this was a good call.
It's a good call. Sean Hall made that call. It was the right call on the baseline.
We have not seen that set all game. Coach Dambrot goes deep into the playbook right there and brings that one up late, especially when BYU's overplaying.
Clark makes the first free throw. Clark is wearing the shoes that LeBron James gifted the Dukes yesterday. Their team meeting, there was a crate of them brought in. Asked the players today, they said, yeah, very comfortable.
Did LeBron not get our sizes?
He did not, no, he did. But he got the manager's sizes. He missed it. The ball is loose, and there's going to be a jump ball, and the possession goes to Duquesne.
That's why that travel call before was important.
And it's the first one to the floor normally in situations like this. So we get the missed free throw by Jimmy Clark III. And now let's see who gets on the floor first for this basketball. Jimmy's down there.
Drame's there. Hall goes there as well. And a timeout called by BYU. March is maddening.
They don't necessarily need the foul here. You got plenty of time. You want to get a stop. You're only down 3. You want to know what the strengths and weaknesses are of everybody on the floor, and make sure you finish off this possession with rebounding. All 5 guys must rebound the basketball.
Duquesne also using this timeout. They have timeouts left. Whistle blows, and a timeout called by Keith Dambrot. All right, so Duquesne will inbound. They call that timeout. How are they going to adjust this?
Well, with Grant inbounding the basketball, I expect him to get it right back. And BYU has to get a stop right here. They don't need the foul.
DeMichael takes the inbounds, finds Dixon to Clark. They're harassing Clark up top. He gets it back to DeMichael.
Looked like they were trying to trap without fouling to try to force a turnover. Now they'll play straight up.
Got a rebound.
Clark with the shot clock at 5. Knifes through the defense and finishes strong. He's got 11.
You don't need a 3. You need a quick bucket.
Shot clock off. 5-point lead for Duquesne. Hall gave up his dribble very early.
And you definitely don't need the foul.
No, you don't.
Was he shooting or was he passing? Because everyone was lifted above the free throw line. Right here, this is a brilliant take.
Just lulled everybody to sleep almost.
Yeah, and Spencer Johnson, he's got double-double, 11 points, 16 rebounds, but that was a favorable matchup, and Coach Dambrot is excited.
You don't think he wants to coach another couple of days?
That churning inside that stomach right now that you get, he told us how much he's going to miss it.
He said, I'm a little nervous about retirement. He said, I don't have any hobbies. He goes, I'm going to go to the lake in Akron. So Hall will go to the free throw line. Not a great foul for Duquesne. Hall 62% for the free throw line.
They did call it 1-and-1.
Yep, front of the 1-and-1. It's good. He'll get a second shot.
And I think Coach Dambrot mentioned he's expecting his first grandbaby.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yep. Elise, who's next to Donna.
So I would not let Day Grant catch the ball right here. I would make sure that you let someone else catch and then foul. Grant is a 94% free throw shooter, and you have to foul after this possession.
Duquesne press offense. Everybody is an option.
They get it to Netchus, and Netchus is fouled with 17.7 to play. All right, so this is what Debbie was talking about, that Day Grant at 94%, Netchus at 70%, but his minutes are increasing recently.
Yeah, but you put the freshman on the free throw line, right, Coach?
You do, and I'm just curious with Duquesne, why was Day Grant taking the ball out?
He's the best free throw shooter.
Yes.
Do you think they wanted him to get it back right away?
Well, they're going to trap immediately or try to get a steal.
But the opposite part of that is, if Day Grant's taking the ball out, I'm going to foul immediately because I'm fouling a less free throw shooter.
Double bonus. Netchus will get 2. Makes the first one. Netchus, whose dad, Citrad, was a professional ball player in the Czech Republic.
And Netchus was really good, guys. Remember, in the first half, he made those 2 threes.
You're going to have a 3 now.
2-possession game.
If you're Duquesne, any pick and roll switch.
Hall Brown going right to the rim. Netjes with the block and the foul.
That's good.
And that'll send Hall to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, and with BYU here, they were trying to get the best available shot, and now downhill trying to force the old-fashioned three-point shot.
And all game, Duquesne has stayed locked on shooters on the perimeter. They've not overhelped on penetration. They've not taken a risk. They've forced BYU to make plays in the paint all game.
Hall makes the first one. 67-63. So I guess it's the same thing moving forward for Duquesne as far as getting the ball in bounds off this. They've got BYU's got a foul right away.
Exactly. You got to try to make a play on the ball, try to maybe get a steal. If you can't, the trap's coming, you got a foul.
Hall's second free throw is good. So 67-64. 12.6 to play. Day Grant can run the baseline here.
Can't get beat over the top.
And if I'm Netjes, I'm looking for this ball again.
And Day Grant has it. He's fouled. They will send him to the free throw line with 10.7 to play.
That is a brilliant play by Drame. This is why he's inbounding, and he steps in immediately, gets it back. That's who they want to have the ball in his hands.
Boy, and if you Day Grant, you probably have to go and meet that ball a little bit more aggressively with 2 hands. You don't want to be cool in that situation.
Well, he'll go to the free throw line here. He's got 15 points. He's a 94% free throw shooter. It's his first trip of the day. Nobody's around him. His teammates are all talking to Keith Dambrot. Converts the first one. So now it's back to a 2-possession game, 68-64.
And you don't want to allow BYU to roll the ball all the way to half court. You want a little 3-quarter soft court man-to-man here. Switch 1 through 5.
Second free throw, 10.7 to play.
Make him come back to the ball. Don't let him throw an advanced pass up the floor.
Nice position right here by Day Grant.
Yep, just to come up on him. Here's Dallin Hall. He'll launch the 3. It's good. 5.7 to play. Timeout by BYU.
But in transition, Hall pulls the trigger. Now it's the same thing, right? You got the full court press. You have to foul immediately. You're trying to do everything you can to extend the game right here. And let's see if Grant will bring the ball back in. It worked last time, but to coach's point, he's stepping in bounds. He's going to try to get it back.
Yes.
He's got to foul immediately.
Yeah, and if you Duquesne, if they have this in their playbook, if everybody's denied, sometimes coaches like to do a little fake and throw it long. If it's a good situation, over the top.
And he can run the baseline, too.
Can run the baseline, yep, off this timeout. 5.7 to play.
You want to make them come back to the ball and catch it coming towards the ball so you can commit that foul, not going away.
But again, it's the trust that, Duquesne has in Day Grant to take the ball out.
There he goes, runs the baseline to get it right back to him, and he's fouled along the sidelines. They'll send Day Grant and his 94% free throw shooting to the free throw line again.
And
tell you what, Duquesne has absolutely executed this perfectly once again.
Yeah,
Run the baseline, get it right back, go back to the line.
Totally agree, Debbie. Jakob Netjes, he's made 3s in the first half. Now, he's not going to be the MVP of this game if Duquesne wins this basketball game, but he's going to be a very important part.
First free throw for Grant. It's good. Now this is the big one. It's a 1-possession game. If he can get this one, it should seal the deal for the Dukes. And what will they do? Will they foul on a miss if they let some time off?
Definitely. I do not want BYU attempting. It just depends on if he misses and where the ball goes.
He makes it. 2-possession game.
You got to make him come back. See if you can throw the pass 3-quarter court.
Yep.
Time winding down. Throws it up from midcourt. No good! For the first time in 55 years, Duquesne has won an NCAA tournament game. And Keith Dambrot's coaching career will continue. They shock BYU 71-67.